Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this is the XRT that was owned by fellow YouTuber Earl Moorhead, and today we got a lot of work to do on this. Alright, so yeah, I got this off of Earl Moorhead. This thing is absolutely insane. This big block here has this thing just standing on the wheels. I mean, look, we blew this whole piece of tire sky high. So to me, I think it's just a little bit much. We're going to tone it down a little bit. I have some accessories I want to put on here, customize it to myself. And then we have a few things that we just regular maintenance, some parts that we need to fix. Those of you that watch his videos know he did the bulkhead bracket here, which he had to make some changes to the vehicle. So I'm not going to do the bulkhead pieces. I'm just going to put it back the way it was factory. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a problem, and if I do, I noticed like GPM makes an aluminum bulkhead. Now I understand what Earl was doing when he did this. For a few dollars you can put that piece on there and fix the problem versus spending like $100 on a bulkhead. But if you guys remember, if you saw the video when I got this out of the box, this control arm here was off. The pin came out, and I don't even know how that happened, because when I tried to put the pin back in, it would not go. I had to remove all these pieces, loosen up the entirety of that bulkhead, and had to go in there with like a screwdriver and pry it up to get the pin to go back in. So I don't want to fight that, putting on the new control arm, so I'm just going to go ahead and take that bulkhead off. I'm going to put a new one in. We're replacing this new motor and stuff like that. So, this is a lot of work. I'm not that familiar with this vehicle, and you know what? Even I mistakenly called this like a lowered X-Max. It isn't. It really isn't. Yeah, they share some parts, mostly like the cush drive, the differentials, stuff like that. But this chassis is completely different. This is not the same chassis that is on the X-Max. And these aren't even really the same A-arms. These would be the long, if you want to put the long arm kit. So this comes factory with the wide kit on it. So yeah, it does share some parts, but this is actually different than an X-Max. Not that I've even dug into my X-Max this extensively, but we will learn as we go. So it's a lot of work. Let's get to it. Wow, what a job. That took a couple hours. It really did. So here's the parts I took off. We'll try to explain why I replaced some of what I did. So this is the rear chassis piece, like I had saw in Earl's video, and then you did too if you watched it. He ground this away. There's supposed to be a plastic notch here to where that bearing or whatever sits to keep that dirt out. So I saw he ground it down. I really wasn't a fan of that, so I wanted this, you know, it to be proper. So went ahead and replace that piece. The chassis piece on the bottom here, it's got a big crack in it. It's also got a crack. Oh no, it's not a crack right there, but this has just got a big crack right there. So I figure I'm taking all this stuff. Oh yeah, there's also a crack right through here. There's a crack here. It's all pushed in, so I went ahead and replaced that. And I'll put a total cost of what, like the parts that I needed that were broke up here. I'm not going to include the A-arms because the A-arms did not have to be replaced. I just chose to do that because I wanted to add a little color. Because these A-arms, other than, you know, just being a little chewed up from, especially the back ones, because the front tires kick a bunch of stuff on here. So all the control arms, everything like that, were totally fine. Did not need replacing at all. So we won't add that to the cost. This was just something I wanted to do to make the vehicle pop a little bit. So here's that front brace. If you look, this whole front half was cut off to make way for that that metal bracket piece that was in there. So seeing how I wasn't using it, I went ahead and replaced that. This is the one strut mount, the bracket in the front. Remember I told you that that control arm came loose and I had a hard time getting it in? Well, it's bent. It's got a little bend to it. So it does not sit flush. So I had that bag of parts that I got from Jenny's RC. That was it. And then oh, this is just an extra one, but I'm not really so that, yeah, that one's off the rear. They're a little bit different the way they're cut. But I have, so this was the extra one he put on for that modification that he did. And then I had some miscellaneous screws here that weren't like the right size or something for where they were put in. So I went ahead and, so I think like this one was in the chassis piece. It's supposed to be tapered. I know that was on the motor mount. I think another one of these was, I don't know, but I'll save them. It's good to have always some extra screws, and that's why I got screws, because when I had taken this apart before, I had noticed that like this screw here, this little Allen was there in here, and it should be a, from what it looks like, because that's tapered, it should be a tapered, at least that's even what it called for in the parts thing. So are you guys ready to see the new, what I call improved XRT? You ready to see this thing? That's why I sent Earl a picture of it. Asked him what he thought. He really didn't say, unfortunately, but I said, yeah, I said, man, you should have seen it. I'm like laughing because you should have seen the tire explode. And then he said, X-Max tires aren't for speed runs, which, you know, I've run my X-Max at 50 miles an hour or whatever plenty of time, but the thing is I had a GPS on the XRT when this tire let go, and it only got to 36. So the tires are just, they're old and beat. And that's what happened. I mean, I'm not sure, maybe it jumped somewhere, got a cut, got a nick, got something in it, but yeah, when I took off, these things, you know, they expand, they do, and man, this one here just let go. I mean, if you look right there, well, maybe that's glue, I don't know, I'm not sure, but anyhow, oh well. That's why I put new tire. I just decided to go with the original tire. I just want to see how an original XRT would handle. And unfortunately, I think by, well, I probably could have just got a new one. For what I want to do, I'm not an extreme basher. I don't jump these things like ever and ever, so somebody might be asking, what are you going to do if the bulkhead breaks? Well, I'll get one of the really high dollar aluminum ones. Really don't want to. But I see what Earl was doing when he did this modification, trying to save money, share that with the viewers, and that's pretty cool. You know, spend like $10 on a couple of parts and try to reinforce this thing. Unfortunately, you know, you end up breaking some other parts to try to do that, and in the end, I mean, we still end up bending the piece. I can put it over here in the vise where, because you know that's a known flat surface in. It's bent up. That's why I couldn't get the pin in. So you put this one in, it's not banging. Right? This one in, we push down on one side. It's banging because it's going down, so. Oh well. Let's check out what it looks like now. Oh, I forgot. There's the bulkhead. If you look, that's all kind of chewed up. So, and I can't find the other one. I don't know where it went. I'm sure it's lost somewhere. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't put it back the way it was with that thing chewed up. So that's why I replaced the front and the rear bulkhead. So I forgot to add that. Sorry. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think. I did shoe glue this. This body was severely damaged. Look, that's where the motor mount was pushing through. That's why I went ahead and swapped it back out. Yeah, look, there's a crack. It goes all the way through right here. There's another crack right there. So I went ahead and shoe glued it, try to reinforce it. Hopefully that will hold. I do have a new mount coming from Garage Life RC because it's blue. It's gonna match. That green I like RC Guy Garage, cool guy, but I don't like the green. So I do have a blue one coming. This is the impossible to find cover. They don't make that anymore, so don't lose it if you have one. So I love the A-arms, man. They just pop. So this is the factory setup. That's the factory Traxxas motor. We still have the Hobby Wing Max 6 in here. And I already had these connectors on here. So had I known I was going to go this route, in that this wouldn't draw so much power, I would have just put Traxxas connectors on here and used my existing Traxxas batteries. But, you know, oh well, it is what it is. But there we have it, the old XRT, and it should plug in fine like that. I hope. Yeah, it should do okay. Yeah, there we go. So I got these batteries by Z, which is one of the things that I was doing with this. I was testing these, and I was going to compare it to something else to see if these batteries had the same kind of power as like my the Gens Ace when the tire shredded. So I had the GPS strapped on here, and like I said, got to like 36 and the tire boom. But it'll be interesting, you know. I don't really care too much about going in the air and doing rotations. This is why we have other cars. This is why, like, I have the Outcast if I want to do flips, or like the X Max, you know. So I really like because like my sledge, I was just like going fast, drifting through the dirt, doing some jumps, not, you know, necessarily rotating in the air. So to me, I think I'll be happy with these tires, although they're not kind of like, I'm kind of curious to see how these are going to do in the dirt. But I never was going to buy an XRT, so I kind of want to experience the XRT as close to what it would have been from the factory. So this is pretty much stock now. I had the stock non-speed gear in here. I do have the speed gear I can put in if I want, but this is the original regular gearing. That's the Traxxas motor that came out of an XRT. The only thing really different now is the hobby wing, and I'm not running Traxxas batteries. But other than that, everything is kind of back to original. Granted, I mean, the A-arms are factory Traxxas, they're just blue. So, yeah, she's, man, I like it, man. I think it's looking good. The wing and everything there. Yeah. There we have it. Alright, guys, next video coming up. We're going to take this out for a rip. See how it runs. I've had this thing for a couple weeks now, and I've yet to really drive it. I took it down the street once. I mean, the thing was flying. It was just wheeling everywhere. It was wild. I mean, the thing has some power. And then I turned around, came back, try to run it, and the tire let go. So I have not run it since. So it'll be interesting. I've had this thing for a while. I'm eager to get out and run. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Like, shares, comments, definitely appreciate it. Please subscribe if you haven't. Check out the links down below. Got you some discounts, some great ways of helping the channel. So the next time, thanks for watching.